Welcome to Life Beyond BS, where we ditch the belief systems and the bullshit and get real about life. Here it's about awareness, choice, and creating joy that actually lasts. No perfection, just honest talk and powerful change. I'm your host, Heather McNally, and let's get into it. Hey friends, welcome back to Life Beyond BS. If you've been with me since the beginning, which wasn't that long ago, you might remember back in episode 2, we talked about awareness. It's about noticing your thoughts, your emotions, and your patterns, but without judgment. Well, awareness is powerful, but awareness can't exist without space. And that's what we're diving into today, the power of pause. Because in a world that glorifies hustle, slowing down has become a radical act, believe it or not. And your intuition, it's not gone, it's just kind of buried under all the noise. So take a deep breath with me right now. And let's find some stillness together and talk about how to actually hear yourself again. We live in a culture, at least here in the US, that treats busy like it's a badge of honor. We say, I'm so busy, like it's proof that we're doing life right. Have you felt that? But here's the truth busyness isn't the same as purpose. And staying busy, it's one of the sneakiest ways that we avoid ourselves. So, yes, there was a time in my life as a stay-at-home mom, and my kids, I had two boys, were young, and where every moment of my day was filled. If the kids were at school, I was doing volunteering, cleaning, doing laundry, taking care of my ill mom, and everything else I could do to keep myself busy and fill the time. I needed to be productive, or at least I thought I needed to. When the kids were home, I was trying to make sure that they were occupied and happy. They also had sports and music lessons and band and play dates, and the list went on and on. Are you familiar? Are you feeling that? And the wild thing is, I told myself I was being productive. But what I was actually doing was running from the silence, that pause. Because silence to me, and probably to many of you, meant that you have to deal with what you're feeling, what you've been avoiding, the inner dialogue, the things that maybe weren't so pretty, or you're just not dealing with them. My value, who I was, what I needed, my own health and mental health. And the more I filled my life with noise, the more disconnected I felt. So we've been taught that if we're not doing, we're not valuable. But that's the BS. Yep, the belief system and the bullshit that's put upon us by society that keeps us trapped in hustle mode. Now, let me get nerdy for a second because there's actually science behind why the pause matters. When you slow down, even for 60 seconds, your body activates what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. That's your kind of rest and digest mode. It's the opposite of the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight, flight, or freeze mode. Your heart rate actually drops in the parasympathetic mode. Your breath will deepen. Your body gets that message of, okay, I'm safe now. And guess what happens when you feel safe? Your brain shifts from survival to clarity. It calms and relaxes us. That's when intuition, creativity, and problem solving finally show up. There's a study from the scientific journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience that found that even a few slow, intentional breaths calms the amygdala. Think of the amygdala as like your brain's smoke detector or security alarm. It reacts instantly to anything that feels threatening. It triggers fear, stress, anger, and the fight, flight, freeze mode. It does not think logically. It's fast, emotional, and primal. And it's always scanning your world asking, am I safe? Do I need to react now? And the more that your amygdala fires, the more easily and quickly it fires in the future. So as you're getting going and you're getting stressed out and you're getting anxious and you're getting, it keeps going and going and it fires off quicker every single time. So the more that you take those few slow, intentional breaths, the calm ones, the more that you calm that amygdala. And you increase the activity in your prefrontal cortex. That's the part that helps you make aligned, intuitive decisions. So the prefrontal cortex is like the CEO, your coach, a wise adult, that part of your brain. It's responsible for logic, reasoning, planning, decision making. It helps you think before you act, which the amygdala does not. It keeps you focused, grounded, and able to see the big picture. And it asks you questions like, what's the best choice here? So when I say pause, I don't mean just spiritually, I mean biologically, because it changes everything. When was the last time that you gave yourself permission to stop? Like no phone, no noise, no TV, no productivity. Just sit and be, have space. I want you to let that question sit with you for a minute and really think about that. Here's the thing. Stillness isn't the absence of movement. It's the presence of awareness. And awareness, like we talked about back in episode 2, it's the key that unlocks everything. But awareness can only exist inside a pause. When you slow down, your nervous system shifts gears. Your mind stops sprinting long enough for the truth to catch up. And here's a beautiful little fact. When your brain isn't actively doing, it enters what scientists call the default mode network. That's where your brain can rest and reflect. It's the place where creativity, insight, and self awareness live. So while you might think, I'm doing nothing, oh, I'm just sitting around, and we all have thought that, your brain is actually lighting up in all the right ways. It needs it. It's like a snow globe. When you're constantly shaking it, everything gets cloudy looking. You can't see anything clearly. But when you set it down, let it settle, suddenly you can see clearly. So I want to tell you about when I was driving one time to visit my son. And it was a long drive. So I was just listening to music and relaxing. It's a time when the road was open. There was no stress about traffic. I was just listening to music that, if you don't know, music just lifts you up. It can change your mood. It can really open you up and free you. And I was letting my mind wander. And I didn't have the clutter. I didn't have the list in my mind. I didn't have all the things I needed to do. And all of a sudden, I had a download of a program that I was kind of trying to force myself to think of. But when you get in that place where you're forcing yourself and you're stressed out about it, are you ever really able to be super creative? I know I'm not. That puts me, it's like it shuts me down right away. So I had this download of the program and I remember it coming from like the top of my head and I heard happy, healthy, whole. And I was like, where did that come from? Because I let my mind settle and have the pause and the space. And that program came to fruition, and I'm actually redoing it. So it's going to be bigger, better, and more amazing than ever. Keep listening for that in the future. So the pause is not empty, it's full of answers, full of healing, and full of the wisdom that's been trying to reach you. You just need to take that pause. So let's get practical. How do you actually build the pause into your life, right? Especially when the world is screaming, go, 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 do, do, do. Here are 3 simple ways for you. Number 1, the 1 minute pause. Stop, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what's here right now? You're not trying to fix it right now. Just notice it. You can sometimes just feel it in your body. When you take those breaths and you wait, you get that clarity. It'll speak to you. The 1 minute activates your parasympathetic nervous system and calms your amygdala, basically telling your brain you're safe. I do this between my coaching sessions. I do it before podcast recordings like this. I do it in the car. And even when I feel stress coming on, actually, especially when I feel stress coming on, just take that breath, take that minute. And it's wild because 1 minute of stillness can shift my entire state and my entire day. Number two is the 5 sense reset. When your mind feels scattered, use your senses to bring yourself back. Name one thing that you can see, hear, feel, taste, touch. This simple grounding exercise interrupts your stress response and brings oxygen back to your brain, which is why you feel clearer almost instantly. That oxygen, you need that running through your body to help your body be in the right state. Deep mindful breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, and that's the body's built in relaxation switch. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It runs from your brain through your face, through your throat, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, and down into your gut. It's the main part of the parasympathetic nervous system. It calms you down, helps you feel safe, controls your gut feelings, and helps you with social connection even. When you regulate that nerve, you're literally teaching your body to calm itself. You can go from stressed to calm with deep breathing. And number three, ask better questions. Start asking yourself these questions to get a real honest feeling of how you're feeling. What am I avoiding by staying busy? What truth am I scared will surface if I slow down? What do I need right now? When you ask from a calm, regulated state, you're engaging your prefrontal cortex. That's your wise, intuitive brain instead of reacting from fear. Neuroscience shows that when we pause before reacting, blood flow shifts from the amygdala to the prefrontal cortex. It gives us space to make choices, just reflexive response. That pause between stimulus and response, that's where your power lives. Viktor Frankl, if you haven't heard of him, he was an Austrian neurologist, psychiatrist, and Holocaust survivor. And he said it best. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Who doesn't want growth and freedom? When I stopped filling every silence with other things to do and keep myself busy, I finally started hearing myself. That moment, that truth, it actually changed my life. I realized I wasn't burnt out because I was doing too much. I was burnt out because I was disconnected from myself. I remember when I had my first son, he was about 5 months old, and I had to stop and sit down while I was taking care of him while he was napping one day. Oh, so I had spent the past 5 months cleaning, cooking, doing laundry, cleaning bottles, finding job after job to do in the house. And I realized on this particular day, it was 3:30 in the afternoon, and I hadn't had a shower. I hadn't gotten dressed out of my pajamas, and I hadn't eaten anything at all. Not a single bite. I was hungry. I was dirty. I was tired. And honestly, I was super overwhelmed. And I sat down and I thought, and I felt, and I recognized that I was not only overwhelmed, but that I was doing this to myself. I called my husband and talked it through with him, and he's incredibly supportive. And it wasn't him putting all of this on me, it was me. I was burning myself out. I was not allowing myself to feel, and I was not wanting to admit that I needed to stop and breathe and maybe have some lunch. I felt so much better after that moment of pause and reflection and crying and talking and crying some more. And the science actually backs this up too. When you breathe deeply and allow yourself to pause, your brain releases GABA and serotonin, neurotransmitters that create calm and balance. GABA is the brain's natural chill pill. It slows down overactive thoughts and helps your body relax. Serotonin is your mood balancing chemical. It helps you feel calm, steady, and emotionally grounded. You literally feel peace chemically, not just mentally. So this isn't just spiritual work, it's full body healing. And let's be real. I'm not sitting cross-legged on a mountain meditating for hours. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not me. That's not what I'm doing. I believe meditation is amazing, but I'm not doing that. I can't cross my knees right now. I have injuries and I don't have the time, in my life at this moment to spend hours meditating on a mountain. Maybe someday, and maybe it'll be a beautiful experience. But what I do right now is I take my pauses when and where I can. I pause while my water warms up for the shower so I can take a nice hot shower. I pause between emails. I pause before entering a meeting. And I pause when I step outside and let the sun hit my face. It's an amazing feeling. The point isn't perfection, it's presence. You don't need another productivity hack to get more done. You need permission to pause because clarity doesn't come from you pushing harder. It comes when you soften and take that time. So here's my invitation, my friend. Take one intentional pause today. No phone, no noise, no distraction, no TV, none of it, nothing. Just you breathing, being, and noticing. And when you do, ask yourself, what do I need right now? Because your soul, your body already knows. You just need space to listen. If this episode helped you, exhale maybe, share it with someone who needs permission to slow down. Let's start normalizing peace. Thank you for taking this pause with me today. If you're craving more of this kind of work, the kind that helps you tune in, realign, and reconnect, stay close. My Happy, Healthy, Whole program that I mentioned earlier, it's coming soon. And it's all about coming home to yourself. You can also look at my show notes for a link to a free 60-minute call with me to see how we could work together. Make sure that you're on my email list. You can go to heathermcnally.com and sign up for that for great notes that I can send you. And I'll send you information about my podcast and different things that I'm doing. And if today's episode made you breathe a little deeper, would you do me a favor and leave a quick review? Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. My hope is that you walk away knowing that you have the power to choose differently. Go live fully, freely, and unapologetically. Your life beyond BS starts now. I'm so grateful you were here today. Remember, your peace, joy, and happiness aren't found in the BS. They're found in your choices. If this episode spoke to you, please rate, review, follow, and subscribe, and share it with a friend. For ways to connect or work with me, check the show notes or visit heathermcnally.com. Until next time, keep choosing you and keep living your life beyond BS.